Summer's coming again, which means that it's time for another mid-year reset. Welcome back to our quarterly programming, and for this quarter, we're doing our mid-year reset together for 2026. Can you believe it? Half a year has already gone by. But in this video, we're gonna spend some time to do a deep reset together, process what has happened over the last season, and plan for the coming summer. The same drill as usual, this video is split into 3 parts. We first do a reset together, go over some reflection questions, and finally, plan for the coming season. And I'm so excited about this quarter's installment as we have 2 new sections coming, which is going through my quarterly favorites as well as designing a summer curriculum. Without further ado, let's first start with the physical reset. This season, I only have 4 items on my to-do list. The first one is to clear my inbox. Right now, I have a total of 529 unread emails in my inbox, and that is after a round of decluttering already. It's getting pretty late today, so I don't think I'll be able to do that today, but I'll make sure to include a B-roll footage of me actually clearing my inbox. The second item on the list is to schedule a cleaner. So this is something new that me and my boyfriend are starting to try out. If you're new to the channel, we live together. We decided to invest in a cleaning service for a deep clean of our apartment. Even though I'd say we're pretty good with our regular cleaning schedule, I hate folding laundry. And before filming this video, I actually had so much laundry. For example, I have a full bin over here and more in that corner to get this bed clean and ready to film. But that just goes to show how much I hate folding clean clothes. And on top of that, even though we are pretty good at vacuuming, I'd say there's still a couple corners here and there that's like a little bit dirty, and I thought it would just be really nice to have someone come in and do a deep clean for us so that we can have a fresh start in a fresh place for the second half of the year. Initially, we're thinking about doing this service called HomeAglow, but after reading some reviews, I think it's a scam. So we're just gonna do it the old school way, booking a cleaner directly on TaskRabbit. We already have a couple in mind and we're ready to book it. The third thing I have on my list is to book my trip for Labor Day. I was just talking to my boyfriend before I started filming, and I'm pretty sure he already booked it. Let me check. Yep, he already purchased the tickets for us. Me and my boyfriend and a couple of our friends are going to Puerto Rico. I'm so excited, especially because the flights are relatively cheap. Even though it might be the hurricane season, we're gonna risk it. So I'll let you know how that went. But that is done. The last item on my list is to wash my car, and that comes at a perfect timing because this Sunday we're gonna go to Costco and I'll just also get a car wash there. So yeah, we finished the reset. That was pretty quick. But before we move on to the reflection section, if you're new to the channel, my name is April and I'm a 25-year-old software engineer living in Seattle. And in my channel, I try to blend my background in tech and my love for creativity to build my dream life one step at a time. So if you're interested, make sure to follow along the journey. But with that, let's head into the reflection. I wrote an outline for this video, so I know this section is gonna be pretty yappy. Let's first get started with some quick stats for the second quarter of the year. In this quarter, I read 0 books, watched 0 TV shows, saw 8 movies, went to 14 restaurants. I posted 12 videos, 9 shorts, went on 4 hikes, and got 0 recruiter phone screens. Yeah, I kind of really fumbled on the last part and the books part because the second quarter proved to be pretty hard, and we'll talk more about that later. I wanted to give a shout out to some of my favorites in the past quarter. I have 2 movies, 2 restaurants, and 1 favorite memory on the list. I looked through the 8 movies that I saw in the past quarter, and it's kind of sad to say that a decent amount of them are a little bit trashy movies. Out of the 8, I actually only have 2 that I would actually recommend people watching. The first one is Project Hail Mary. I'm sure, like at this point, if you still haven't seen the movie, you gotta watch it because it's just so good. The second one is The Sheep Detectives. This one is actually a pretty interesting movie. It's kind of like a whodunit murder mystery, but the detectives are sheeps, like the title says. I think it's mainly produced in the UK, so there's a lot of those British dark humor blended into it, but at the same time, they make it family friendly, so it's rated PG, and they also make it entertaining enough for adults to watch. So I watched it with my family and we all had a great time. Oh, and also Obsession. I mean, I was so scared when I was watching it, so I don't know how so many people are able to see a horror movie like that, but that's the movies. For restaurants, I tried out a decent amount of restaurants. I have 14 restaurants, mainly because I was traveling a lot, but I wanted to shout out to 2 Seattle restaurants that you should definitely try out if you're in Seattle. The first one is Ginger and Scallion. It's a Thai place that specializes in making this one single type of noodle called khao soi, and they have a bunch of different proteins that goes with it. That place was so good that I actually went twice over the past quarter, and I would recommend going in off-peak times because the line is pretty long. The next one I have on my list is PDJ Nigerian food. It's a restaurant in Pioneer Square, and it's one of the only Nigerian foods in town, I think. I went on a double date with my friend, and it was definitely a really fun experience because it was my first time trying Nigerian food, and because we had 4 people, we tried a variety of things on the menu. So I feel like it gives me a pretty holistic overview of how the cuisine is. Even though I didn't really enjoy every dish, I think there's this one dish, I forgot the name, I'll put it here, that I especially enjoyed. The last thing I wanted to share is my favorite memory. I have a lot of favorite memories, but I think we're gonna go into some of them later. So the one I want to share here is the fact that I went on a cabin trip in Olympic National Park with my boyfriend and some of his friends back home. I actually filmed a vlog, which should be out in about 2 weeks after I post this video, so stay tuned for it. But we rented an Airbnb cabin, which is one of those cutest cabins that hosted 6 people. It's right by the lake in Olympic National Park with the clearest water. I went on paddleboarding with them, accidentally fell into the lake. It was freezing, but later on we made hot pot at the cabin, had marshmallows, and second day went on a really pretty hike. So it was definitely a very chill experience. I love Olympic. Ever since I moved here, I've probably been 4 or 5 times already. It's just one of those places that I'll just never get sick of it. But now that I shared my favorites, it's time to reflect on how this quarter actually went. First off, I wanted to reflect on some of the goals that I've set in the last video. I set some goals for health, connection, as well as career. For health, I wrote, take care of myself and do not be sick again. Have one mindless Sunday every month. I didn't get sick besides high altitude sickness, which is inevitable. I would say I'm much healthier than 3 months ago. In terms of mindless Sunday, I don't know if I really did that, but I did take better care of my mental health overall. For connections, I wrote, actually want to hang out with people more because 2 friends left Seattle on the same day. I'm pretty proud to share that I do think this goal is accomplished. I think there was like a really dry period, maybe it was in April, where I didn't really have too much connections, mainly because I was burnt out. But after that, I was able to reconnect with my friends, and now I'm at this point where I have a better work-life balance. I have more time to hang out with people. PBH, there is one part that I wanted to improve on in terms of connections, but we can talk about that later when it comes to planning. The last life area is career. I wrote a lot of things last episode. Actually disconnect with Amazon a bit more and be more serious about job hopping, continue posting on YouTube, considering adding more shorts. I am pretty consistent with YouTube, which I am so proud of, and I also tackled the difficulty of posting shorts. I am pretty proud to say that I was able to identify the mental blocker that I had in terms of posting shorts in the past, and I more than doubled the amount of shorts that I post compared to the first quarter, which is definitely a huge win. In terms of my day job though, I wanted to be more serious about job hopping, but instead I applied to like 0 positions. It was actually so hard to keep up, but at this point I wanted to update with you guys that I don't think I am actively job hopping anymore, and the reason of that is my huge mental transformation that I went through over the past quarter. And that is the yappy part of this video because it is a pretty long story. We're gonna start in April when I was very burnt out. Due to poor planning, I had 2 trips that was kind of like back to back. In end of March, early April, I went on a cruise, which is where I filmed my last reset video. But in a month, by the time it's end of April, I had to go on a 2-week trip to Bolivia because my friend is studying in South America and we made a promise a year ago that we would do that. So because of that, in between the 2 trips, I was so burnt out because I had to catch up with making videos and there's a lot of work obligations that I missed while I was away. Also, going to Bolivia is so hard. The flight there was 24 hours and the flight back was 25 hours. So I remember on my flight there, I was using every single second that I have internet connection to edit my video so that I could get my video out before I start my trip. And after I landed, I had such a bad high altitude sickness. I should have known before because I went on this volcano hike in Guatemala before and I was sick back then, so I should have prepared better. But I was solo in La Paz, Bolivia, had a huge migraine because of the high altitude, had to figure out some of the logistics for the travel, and on top of that, I had to squeeze out 4 hours to film another video on my first day landing at Bolivia. Looking back, I have no idea how I did it. Like, I remember throughout the entire flight, I could legit feel my cortisol all over my body. I knew I was about to crash, and indeed I did. The crash happened about 5 days into the trip when my phone got robbed in Bolivia, so that was really rough. But after my phone got robbed, I had more time to actually connect with the people on the trip. I had to seek help at a hostel, and there I met this guy who was writing a thesis for his master's program, and he self-funded a trip to Bolivia and was staying in Bolivia for 2 months where he was just interviewing people, trying to write up his thesis. But when he's not actively doing interviews, he just sits in the patio of the hostel and he looks like he's having a nice time, being laid back and relaxed. Later on in the trip, we also went hiking with a group of French tourists. They all seemed so energetic. On the contrary, I was so tired physically, partly due to high altitude, partly due to my phone being stolen, and partly because I just lacked the energy since I sprinted my way to make this trip happen that I have nothing left in me anymore. Later on in Bolivia, a huge nationwide protest happened. To this day, it's still happening, but because I booked my flight out from Chile, I had to get out of Bolivia, and I felt like I was in such a rush. I was like, let's get things done. I need to hop on the train so that I could hop on the bus that could take me to Chile, and then I need to fly back to Seattle and go back to work because I don't have any PTO left. On the contrary side, everyone else seems to be so laid back. Of course, no one wants their trip being interrupted, but 2 of the French guys we met, they're going on a gap year and they're spending at least a couple months together in South America. So to them, it's not as important to get out of the country because even if they get stuck in Bolivia for another month, they still have so much time and so much energy left for the rest of South America. So it is pretty ironic, but also a wake-up call for me because I started looking back at the lifestyle that I'm living in Seattle. I feel like I'm managing so many work streams at once. I'm doing my day job, I have a YouTube channel, I try to keep up with my hobbies as much as I can, and adding job hunting on top of that simply doesn't make sense. So as sad as it is, in order to preserve my mental energy, I don't think I have the mental capacity to manage all of those things at the same time. Because of that, on a similar note, I decided to take a pause on theater until I feel the energy to go back and design lights again, because right now I feel so balanced between YouTube work and social connection, but I'm not super sure if I still will be when I restart my theater shows. But on a side note, I think some of you might clicked in because you saw the title of this video, which is dissecting my irrational fear of summers in Seattle. Seattle is such a gloomy city year-round, and summer is the most beautiful time here, but for some reason, my past 2 summers have not been treating me well. The first summer I have in Seattle, I was so sad every day because I was navigating through my first new grad friend group, and that friend group was just bringing me a lot of anxiety and pain every single day, on the contrary of what a friend group should be, which is part of the reason that prompted me to start this channel. But after that period passed, in my second summer, work started picking up and started escalating to the point that it was so dramatic that I had a mental breakdown from work. I burnt out and started taking a medical leave last September, but the events that led up to my mental breakdown started around the summertime. That almost gave me a PTSD of summers in Seattle. Last week, I went on a hike with a couple of my friends, and I discovered that I might have a problem with my right foot and my right knee, and I might need to seek a PT for that. In addition to that, my friend has also been asking me about restarting improv classes. We did improv classes together last year, and it was such a fun experience, but at the same time, I am actually so scared to get physical therapy or sign up for another improv classes because I did those last summer, and I am so scared on whether those things are the culprit that led up to all the shit that happened afterwards. I don't even know if it makes sense, but it's kind of like I got hurt while I was taking PT and improv classes in the summer. So now I feel like going to PT and taking improv classes is gonna get hurt again. I don't know if it makes sense, but that is my irrational fear of the summer. So I don't know. I'm still debating. Let me know in the comments because I am so confused right now. And I will keep you updated on whether I decided to go to PT or going to improv classes. And I swear, since I started posting regularly last September, if the summer goes shitty, you guys will all know about it, and I'm gonna be so embarrassed. Anyways, that is how my past quarter has been and how I'm feeling right now mentally. I know I've been yapping for so long already, but with my physical space reset and my trauma of summer fully unpacked, let's actually start planning for the summer. I'm gonna be setting some goals for this coming quarter, and I will be doing the same thing as last time: career, health, and connection. For career, because of everything that I just told you, I decided to keep it easy and just give myself one goal, which is to try to keep my job as well as keeping my mental health. One of my coworkers got transported to the ER while she was at work, so I think everyone is super health conscious at work recently. I feel like that's a paradox, but we'll try to make it happen. In terms of health, I actually do want to get better at my endurance. I used to think my endurance is good enough, but it took my Bolivia trip to know that I suck, especially compared to all the European people. They're just so good, I can't compete. I started Ozempic a month ago. I'm gonna continue be on it, and I'm trying to build up better endurance. I'll talk about that more in my summer curriculum. In terms of connections, I think this is the area that I really want to focus on, because right now, even though I have some stable friends, it's really limited to a group, and I'm currently kind of in a dry spell outside of my core group of friends, which is like 4 people. I feel like I've been constantly ghosted, rescheduled, canceled, and I just really didn't have a chance to meet a lot of people. So I think that is my main intention for this coming quarter, which is to meet at least 1 or 2 more friends. Actually, that sounds a little bit ambitious, but we're all for ambitious goals. With those intentions set, we can move on to the summer curriculum. I'm so excited about this part because planning just makes me feel like I'm in control of my life. I decided to give myself a theme for the summer, and following the threads of connection, my summer theme is gonna be called Summer of Presence. I didn't really make a lot of goals in terms of work because I realized I've been a little bit anxious. Even though my cortisol level is not too high, I feel like my mind is very tired from being anxious all the time. So this summer, I want to feel present in the moment and not worry about the future. The first course that I have is reading. As you can see, this past quarter, I read 0 books. So my intention for the summer is to read 3 books. We're starting slow because all 3 books are intentionally made easy to read. I have Bunnies, which is what I'm already reading right now. It's pretty interesting. I think it might be a horror story, but I have no idea where it's going. The second book I have on my list is Yesteryear. It's that tradwife sci-fi book that Anne Hathaway has already bought the rights for. So because of that, I think it should be a pretty interesting read. And the third book I have is Carrie Soto is Back. I believe this book is by Taylor Jenkins Reid. My boyfriend has read it. He doesn't really read books, and he said it was pretty good. So I'm excited about it, especially since this year I really started getting into watching tennis. I just finished watching the French Open a couple weeks ago, and I'm so excited about Wimbledon. By the way, comment a tennis ball emoji if you've also heard the stories of Srilinska. It was such a fun match to watch. Anyways, I digress. Let's pull back to the curriculum. The second class I have for myself is to go rock climbing or hiking every single week. I'm thinking about doing it like alternative schedule where I go top rope with my friend and then go hiking the other week, because I do want to build up better endurance and I'm pretty serious about it. The next one is still a tentative. I might actually do the improv class because after aligning myself with my goals that I want to be present and I want to meet people, I feel like improv class might be one of those things that allows me to do both, but I'll let you know if I actually do it. The last class I have for myself is to actually pay for one of those experiences. I don't know about you, but it's been popping up in my Instagram pages where they match you with a couple people to go on a dinner with, kind of like a blind date. I used to think it's really dumb because you have to pay a fee to go have dinner with people and then you have to pay for your dinner separately. So why would I do that? But given the dry spell that I am in right now, I am a little bit desperate, so I would want to give those services a shot. Maybe just one time is enough. Hopefully I'll be able to meet at least one person after one time of those dinners. But yeah, that is my summer curriculum. If you also want to build out your summer curriculum, let me know in the comment section on what you have on your schedule because I want to get inspired too. And now we just have one section left, which is content planning. I decided last minute that we're gonna do it because I want to show you what's coming up next, but I don't have anything beyond July at this point, so let's just do the content planning for the month of July. As you can see, this is the mid-year reset. It's gonna come out in June, but on July 2nd, we'll have my July paycheck allocation. This is gonna be the first time that I post 2 long-form videos in a week, which sounds horrifying at this point, but hopefully it can happen without me burning out. Next up, I have a work-life balance vlog. This is the vlog where I went to Olympic. I haven't edited yet, but I think it was a pretty fun experience. And the last thing that I have before I take a week of break is my agent building building vlog. This one is really fun. I think I've talked about it for a while. I want to start using AI agents for my personal life outside of video editing, and I need motivation. So I'm gonna make a video where I film myself building AI agents, and hopefully it can inspire you to build your agents too. After that, I'll take a week of break for YouTube for my mental health, but I'll be coming back on July 27th with my Bolivia vlog. So much has happened that I decided to split it into 2 videos, but I'm pretty excited about the video since it's gonna be a fun one. But with that, we're finally done with the reset. It's already 10 p.m. for me, so I'm gonna get ready to go to bed. If you watch all the way until here, make sure to subscribe and give this video a like. And if you're interested, make sure to check out my financial reset video as well. I'll see you next week. Bye.